It was another day at my office when suddenly there was a knock on the door. It was the 4 suspects whom one had caused the Civil War. I let Watcub introduce them to me. The 4 thematic causes are our wealth and economy, conflict, justice, and community. One of these 4 thematic causes caused the Civil War. I thought this one over and then decided to do what I'd usually do in these mysteries: play the evidence. I started off showing them the election of Abraham Lincoln. There were 4 candidates in this election: Stephen Douglas, Abe Lincoln, John Bell, and John Breckinridge. Each of them had different opinions on slavery. Stephen Douglas approved of it, but didn't like it. Abraham Lincoln hated it and wanted all slaves to be free. John Bell loved it, and John Breckinridge hated it as well. However, John Breckinridge and John Bell didn't have a chance, and the main race was between Stephen Douglas and Abe Lincoln, which Abraham Lincoln won by a landslide. The second piece of evidence was the South seceding. What this was the South separating from the North and becoming their own country, the Confederacy. The North kept Abraham Lincoln as their president, while the South had President Davis. The third topic was states' rights versus federal government. In this, Abraham Lincoln and the federal government decided that they should be able to decide if a state wanted to be free or slave. However, most of the states in the South wanted the states to get to decide what they wanted to be, slave or no slave. Pretty much ruling out the federal government. Next, I showed him about John Brown and the abolitionists. John Brown was born on May 9th, 1800, and he was hung in 1859. However, during his life, John Brown was a strong abolitionist, completely influenced by his father. What an abolitionist is someone who hates slavery and wishes it to be gone, and all slaves to be free. Because of this, John Brown went on many rages killing people over slavery. He had an army of 21 people, 16 whites and 5 blacks. It's all part of Bleeding Kansas. The Kansas-Nebraska Act set the scene by allowing the territory of Kansas to decide for itself whether it be a free or slave state, a situation known as popular sovereignty. With the passage of the act, thousands of pro- and anti-slavery supporters flooded the state. Violent clashes soon occurred, especially some border ruffians, which is how it got the name Bleeding Kansas. It crossed over from the South to sway the vote to the pro-slavery side. Kansas entered the Union in 1881. I showed him Senator Sumner versus Senator Butler. What this was Preston Brooks attacked Senator Sumner, so he got mad and attacked all the makers of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, including Senator Butler, Stephen Douglas, and many others. The next topic, and the oh-so-important topic, was slavery. The North saw slaves as humans too, just with a different color skin, but the South saw them as mere pieces of property who they had paid for. The South would treat the slaves harshly, making them do harsh work and work out on the fields in harsh conditions, and not treat them like humans at all. The North wanted them to have the same rights, be able to buy property and be equal with other people. So I took all these things into consideration and decided that the main cause of the Civil War was conflict. What could take him away?